operating in dynamic environment. If the government tax rates are changed on a specific dates, after on every 30th June there's going to be a bill that goes to the parliament, and the parliament is they're going to be passing this increased tax rates or decreased tax rates or whatsoever. So it means once a year, it means organization is stable. But in 1 year you see a number of frequencies, plus the government announce all of a sudden after 1 month it announces increase in taxes, after 2 months or after 3 months you don't have a pet idea what's going on and how it's going to be increasing the tax rate, right? So in stable environment, components in organization environment change very little. So what are the components we talked about? Economic, demographic, political, social, culture, technological, global. So now let's look at that matrix here, environmental uncertainty matrix. So you see here we have change here, and wait a second, we have here we go, wait a second here. So we have degree of change, degree of change, and then we have here degree of complexity. So degree of change, what we have learned, degree of change either stable or either dynamic. And then we have learned for complexity, what we have learned about the complexity, complex or simple, right? So you can make the coordinates easily, just divide it here. So it means if your organization is here, it means the complexity is simple. There are not so many components affecting the manager's decisions which are outside the control of manager. And those factors even do not change frequently. It means your organization is stable. You can predict the environment easily. Okay? What if the factors are small, 1 or 2 factors, and the frequency of their change is dynamic? If your organization is here, which means your environment is unpredictable, because of course there are smaller number of components that affect the organizational decisions, but those factors are changing continuously. If you say something, you decide something, if you predict something, the components also changing, and what happens, you cannot rely on your decision. Your decision is going to be valid for a very shorter period of time, and then you have to be involved in decision making. Active participation should be required, right? If here you see stability, if there are many components outside the control of manager but they are not changing frequently, so it means the environment is still predictable. You can make decisions once after 3 months, 4 months. Board of directors, they gather, they just announce pricing policy. HR policy, finance policy, it's okay, very nice, that's it. Even though there are a number of factors that affect the organization decision, but if you are here, that is dynamic and complex. Look at that. This is very much challenging. Your environment is dynamic, which means the frequency of those greater numbers that affect the organization decisions, they are also changing frequently. So you need to be actively involved in decision making, because any factor changes require a new version or new copy or new order from the or new decisions from management, or maybe frequently meetings are going to be there. So we have seen these kind of stuff in our pandemic days, right? Because you plan to go to the office, we're gonna have a meeting, and then what happened? There is a lockdown over there in specific part. You cannot move. Half of the workforce are in organization, and half of the workforce, they are all you know in the lockdown section. They cannot come to the office, and then adopting the change you are adopting the change through Zoom technology, through Whoop technology, through Ding Talk, this kind of stuff, Chumu, right? So and some organizations develop their own meetings and own stuff, right? So this is the environment in which this is the complexity of the environment in which managers have to face and decide what is best possible outcome for me, to decide right now to go further, on which level should I repeatedly involve in decisions, or should I just issue one order or one decision and just stick to that, right? So let's talk about this external components. So you see here, the organizations have no control over, wait a second, guys, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think my software was just stuck. Okay, now it's okay. I cannot move my PPT. I don't know what happened. Okay, let me stop it here and let me restart my PPT. Okay, we successfully resolved this PPT issue. Okay, let's back to our slide here. So we were discussing that. So there are those external factors that affect the organizational decisions, which means organizations cannot control these factors. It means you need to adapt according to changes in all these factors. So what are the political and legal? These are changes in laws, right? The government ban carbon emission, and you need to switch your all those go from coal power plant, from coal energy to green energy, right? Demographics, government mandated, or there are more workforce coming through the female gender part, not for the male part. So the decision making is going to be changed accordingly. Economic, employment, inflation, money supply, and all those stuff. Social cultural trend, what are this national behavior, national culture, people's behavior. In US there are some states in which marijuana is legal. In other states these are illegal. So these kind of taste, behavior, and all those stuff are in social culture stuff. Technological change, introduction of chat GP has opened a